In search of Black Friday bargains, people across the region door-busting for deals as the season to shop officially gets underway. But there are some items you might want to leave inside the store.
A scary scene caught on camera in a Swampscott parking lot. A cell phone rolling when a handicapped man seems to get shoved to the ground. The parking problem police say may have sparked this outburst.
Fearing the worst, the desperate search for 44 crew members missing on board a submarine in Argentina, and reports of an ominous sound that has investigators on edge.
Crying foul. A Vermont man's hope of having a turkey for a pet taking a turn for the worse.
And this bud's not for you. The beer maker taking a giant step forward to become the first brew on Mars.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
All right, 6:30 on your Friday. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Chris Anderson.
I'm Krista Delcamp. If you're headed out to get some bargains today, it looks like you're going to have to bundle up. It's chilly out there.
Yeah.
To start things off.
Once you get inside, though, it'll be nice and warm, and the adrenaline will get kicking. And are you a big Black Friday shopper, Ren?
No, I never have been. Don't really do too well with the crowds, but I do give respect to those that can handle getting in there and getting those goods for good deals. I definitely can appreciate a good deal, but the crowds are a little bit much. High pressure moves in here today. We're talking about quiet conditions. Clear skies right now. We'll see a couple fair weather clouds. Temperatures are a little below average this morning, but we're not nearly as breezy as what we experienced yesterday. So it doesn't feel that much cooler, even though we're just a couple degrees cooler than yesterday at this time. 30 degrees in Worcester, 26 in Plymouth, 24 in Norwood. As we head into today, it's another quiet forecast for us. Plenty of sunshine on tap and temperatures that will be a little warmer as we head into this afternoon. We're closer to average in the upper 40s with quiet conditions through the evening.
Breaking story overnight, firefighters in East Boston responding to a building on fire on Bennington Street. Video sent to 7 showing the large response. You see the ladder trucks and the fire engines there. Ladders going all the way up to the roof. The cause of that fire still being investigated this morning. Also breaking overnight, 2 men seriously injured in a rollover crash in Bourne. It happened near a home on Shore Road just before 11 o'clock last night. Fire officials say the victims needed to be freed from that car. Both men airlifted to the hospital. Officials say that one of the victims is in stable condition.
Right now, the season to shop is officially underway. Stores across the Bay State opening doors early on this Black Friday, giving some eager shoppers their first look at some door-busting bargains, if any of them are left by now. I think John Coco swooped them all up. He's at the South Shore Plaza this morning. And some items you want to avoid buying as well. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Krista. It's about 6:30 in the morning, and we have officially hit a Black Friday lull. People have definitely started slowing down here. You can take a look behind me. You can see some people hanging out on the couches, but with those couches right there, not far away, you have all the coffee for people to refuel. I believe a strategically placed Starbucks coffee stand over there. The South Shore Plaza opened its doors at 10:30 tonight, but the stores themselves, they didn't open up until about midnight or 12:30. That's sort of the situation all around the area right now. This is video from the mall at Rockingham Park in New Hampshire. You can see everyone going in there, people hauling off hopefully everything that they had on their list, trying to get their hands on. That's why they do this, right? And on a day like today, you have to be prepared, and no one is more prepared than the ladies with Bella's Elite Shopping Team.
It's one thing, like I said, that we've been doing for so long that, like, it's an excuse for the family to get together. And then, you know, every year we're like, all right, let's something else we can do.
Oh, we have fun. I'm going to keep doing it until I can't move.
The ladies with the Elite Shopping Team told me the one thing that is key with their team, absolutely no whining involved. So what are some of the things you should avoid here on Black Friday according to RetailMeNot.com? Furniture, the latest gaming consoles, and gift cards, all on that list not to buy. So that's the latest here at the South Shore Plaza. John Coco, 7 News, Today New England.
Okay, John, thank you. Let's check out traffic. I know Elena's keeping a close eye on some of that mall traffic and everything else out there.
I sure am. So yeah, it will be busier, of course, around the malls there, but on the major roadways, not too bad. This is the entrance to the expressway. In that southbound lane, northbound, things are looking okay, and there's still plenty of green on the maps, too. This is a very unusual Friday morning. A great time to drive. The spot looks great, 324.95. The Pike, no problems. All the way in up north, there was an an earlier issue in Lowell, but that did clear. No delay there anyway. 2 and 3 fine, 93 fine, all the way into the city, the Tobin. That looks good too. So your drive time will match that, about 10 minutes across the board this morning, guys.
To the day's other top stories now. 6 families without permanent places to live after a fire at an apartment building in Manchester, New Hampshire. The fire department says it started because of careless disposal of a smoking material inside of one of those apartments. The damage estimated to be at about $150,000. Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn may be distancing himself from President Trump. According to the New York Times, his lawyers are no longer sharing information with the president's legal team about the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. This could indicate that Flynn is cooperating with investigators and possibly looking to strike a plea deal. President Trump's legal team says Flynn's decision to stop sharing information was not unexpected and should not be seen as a sign of cooperation.
Now to a story that was caught on camera in Swampscott. It's disturbing video that appears to show a man pushing another man to the ground. And a witness says this encounter began as a dispute over a handicapped parking spot. Police say the parking problems didn't even end there. And here's 7's Matt Rescone in the control room with more on what happened, Matt.
Yeah, Krista, it happened on Paradise Road. Witnesses say an elderly man was looking for a place to park. Instead, he ended up on the pavement after an argument with a man in the handicap spot. An elderly man shoved to the ground during a Thanksgiving trip to this Swampscott lot after an argument over who should get the only handicap spot.
A younger gentleman was in his car with the car running, and he was parked in a handicap spot. And there was an older gentleman who was disabled who was asking why was he parking there if he wasn't disabled.
Marcy, who doesn't want to share her last name, took this picture of the man in a Celtic shirt parked in the handicap spot.
I heard him swearing and saying, you know, I can park here. I don't know who the F you think you are. I can park here. I'm not parking. My car is running.
Then the man gets out of the car and Marcy starts recording, capturing 11 disturbing seconds of what went down.
The older gentleman went towards him and the other guy just kind of pushed his arms away, threw him back, and he fell.
This man, who suffers from emphysema, says it's not fair for people to use a handicap spot when they don't really need it.
And now you can't walk very far. You only get it good for a few steps. So if someone parks in there and I have to park at the end of the parking lot, it's like hard for me to do.
In this case, when the man falls to the pavement, Marcy stops rolling and calls 911. Now, on this holiday, she hopes the video will serve as a reminder to be more grateful and kind.
The entitlement is what gets me. That people just think, oh yeah, well, it's handicapped, I can park here. Forget about the handicapped person that's looking for a parking spot.
And police did respond and gave the man a ticket for wrongfully parking in a handicap spot. Matt Rascone, 7 News, Today New England.
Also on 7, disturbing discovery in Claremont, New Hampshire, where 2 people are now facing animal cruelty charges after police say they left 14 kittens for dead. Now, we do want to warn you ahead of time, some of these pictures may be disturbing. Police say that the kittens were left crammed in a crate in below freezing temperatures. Rescuers say when they took them in, the cats were covered in feces, blood, and urine.
I came inside, and the minute I opened the shelter door, I could just hear the frantic screams of cats, and the smell was just overpowering. It was just horrible.
2 of the cats did not survive. The other 12 are recovering in foster care.
Boston Mayor Marty Walsh says advertisements on the tea should lose the booze. The MBTA reinstated ads for alcohol on trains and MBTA property. Mayor Walsh has been outspoken about being a recovering alcoholic and has been very vocal about underage drinking as well.
I'm opposed to that. I mean, I think that, you know, it's a wrong message to send to our young people. And, you know, those ads aren't targeted at adults. Those ads are targeted at little kids. And just like the cigarette ads were in the 80s and 90s.
And the mayor says the MBTA should find other companies to advertise in the space or look into different ways to make money.
On 7 News now, hopes fading now for a rescue of more than 40 crew members on board a missing submarine from Argentina. That sub disappeared more than a week ago in what's being described as a possible explosion, and it has the families of those people on board fearing the worst. John Lawrence has more.
More than a week has passed since an Argentinian Navy submarine vanished in the Atlantic Ocean. Government officials now saying that an unexplained explosion on Thursday was detected near the last confirmed location of the sub.
They did not tell us that they're dead, but that's a logical assumption.
Government officials gave an update to the families after the explosion took place.
I feel cheated. They haven't been located, but they talk about them being down 3,000 meters. They don't tell us anything. But I tell you that they're wretched. They manipulated us.
Argentinian officials say there wasn't evidence of any sort of an attack on the sub. Evidence of the explosion came from the United States and the Austria-based Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization. Teams from 12 nations have been involved in the hunt for the San Juan. It was supposed to have docked Sunday. Experts say that in the ocean's depths, the sub would only have 7 to 10 days worth of oxygen on board. But the crew might have bought itself more time. They might have raised a tube to the surface and refreshed the air inside the vessel.
There are obviously some things aboard that could help reduce the amount of carbon dioxide, some chemicals and so forth that most submarines do carry.
In the meantime, family members can only wait for more information and think of their loved ones.
At this point, most likely the batteries have been depleted, and so they are in darkness except for flashlights. And I'm sure huddled together and hoping and praying for the best.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
We have more news now. Police down in Texas arresting a man who they say shot and killed a highway patrol officer during a traffic stop. Police say the trooper pulled over DeBrett Black Thursday afternoon, and that's when police say that he shot and killed the trooper with a rifle. They say that he drove away from the scene after the shooting, but officers later spotted the suspect hiding in a field and arrested him.
Once the investigation is complete, that'll all be turned over to the local district attorney. But right now, the main focus is taking care of the scene, taking care of the family.
Police say that Black has been arrested several times in the past 4 months. The trooper, meantime, leaves behind a wife and 3 children.
Caught on camera.
Why is there a big fire inside a Walmart right now?
That is a good question. A suspected arson attack at a Texas Walmart. Police say someone started 2 fires at this store in Cedar Park, Texas. A customer captured the video showing flames, look at them, nearly reaching the roof of that store.
One was in close to the apparel, and then the other was on the other side in the vacuum cleaners section.
Investigators say they interviewed the suspect, and they're now trying to get enough evidence to file charges.
And just ahead this morning on the news station, a pet turkey that was bought ruffling a few feathers here. Why the owner is having second thoughts about his pet purchase and what he wants you to do about it.
And speaking of animals, hogs on the highway when a semi overturns what may have led up to a crazy crash down in Florida.